Tackys War, 1760 to 1761. December 3, 2021. Contributed by Samuel Momadou. Tackys War, also known as Tackys Rebellion, was an uprising among Jamaica-Akan enslaved people from Ghana that occurred in St. Mary Parish, Jamaica, against the British from 1760 to 1761.
Interesting. Grand uprising, free people. Grand uprising, free people. This is TACKY out of this American island now called Jamaica. But for some reason, this document has said TACKY is an Akan enslaved, is from, you know what I mean, was an uprising amongst Jamaica, Akan enslaved people from Ghana. What kind of argument that? Where are these people now? The moment we have anybody what we would have called a national hero, you know what I mean? Then them are gonna say, you know, he's African. Like Nani is African. So later you're gonna hear them say Marcus Garvey, even though he was born in Jamaica, he's African. Anyway, we'll like introduce this TACKY story and we'll play it over and over again. It is expressive. It's very short and expressive. Gratitude.
From 1760 to 1761. Other ethnic groups from Ghana, including the Akiem, Nzema, Fanti, and Ashanti, took part in the rebellion. The rebellion was led by TACKY, also known as TACKY, who was from the Fant ethnic group. This war was one of the most significant slave rebellions in the Caribbean during the 18th century before the Haitian Revolution, which began 3 decades later. The goal of the rebellion was to take control of the British island colony and create a separate black independent nation. The rebels were inspired by the First Maroon War that also occurred in Jamaica, from 1728 to 1740. That rebellion was led by Queen Nanny of the Maroons. They did not know that the success of the Maroons in the earlier conflict would eventually help bring about the downfall of their rebellion. Tackys War began on Easter Monday, April 7, 1760. TACKY and his followers began the rebellion by killing white masters and overseers on the Frontier and Trinity plantations. The owner of the Trinity plantation, Zachary Bailey, however, managed to escape. Slaves also rose up on the Esher estate owned by wealthy politician William Beckford and joined in the rebellion. Hundreds of rebels made their way to the storeroom at Fort Haldane, where they killed the storekeeper and captured and defended the town of Port Maria from British colonial forces. TACKY and his troops commandeered nearly 4 barrels of gunpowder and 40 firearms and then overran the Hayward Hall plantation. By this point, more than 400 people had joined TACKY and his followers. While at Ballard's Valley, as TACKY and his followers were celebrating their success, one enslaved person slipped away and sounded the alarm. In response, on April 9, 1760, Lieutenant Governor Sir Henry Moore dispatched the 74th Regiment, comprising 80 mounted militia from Spanish Town, the colonial capital, to the rebellion in St. Mary Parish. Ironically, the militia was joined by Maroons, free black people, from Moortown, Charlestown, and Scots Hall, Jamaica. On April 12, 1760, British troops and their Maroon allies attacked the rebels, wounding TACKY in battle. 2 days later, additional Maroons under British commanders engaged TACKY and his followers in the Battle of Rocky Valley. Most of the rebels were killed. Many others fled into a cave near what is now called TACKY Falls, where they committed mass suicide. TACKY and a few of his followers fled into the woods pursued by Maroons. One British marksman, attacking with the Maroons, shot and killed TACKY and then severed his head. That head was then displayed on a pole in Spanish Town until some of Tacky's surviving followers took it down. Many of the remaining surviving rebels were captured and executed. Resistance, however, continued for nearly a year until 1761, when British colonial forces and their Maroon allies killed or captured the remaining followers. Despite Tacky's death and the failure of the rebellion, insurrections continued in Jamaica until slavery was officially ended by the British government in 1834. The cost of these continuing rebellions was a major factor in the British government outlawing slavery throughout the empire. Subjects: Global African history, events.
Complete gratitude. Now we have people from different location in the earth. I give story about our location here. Yeah, man. So we do say give thanks. And again, quick share. Just a quick share. Yeah, man, for reiterate the role where some of our people played in the past. And some of these very people are continuing to play that very role. However, we're just here to shine light on information and, share accordingly. Yeah, man. Step by step. Step by step. TACKY. What we need for I show a whole heap more information from TACKY. We need to get some first-hand knowledge, like my brethren, where is actually a relative of TACKY. Yeah, man, we have to go touch base with him and make him know, say, if him have access, we need some access on any more information about TACKY, because we want to know when him came from Ghana. You know what I mean? And who brought him from Ghana to Jamaica. These are the things. Anyway, gratitude for the time again. Information share. Tacky's War, 1760 to 1761, and this was before the Haitian Revolution. Gratitude.